Welcome back to TPS. There have been plenty of unforgettable sports moments throughout the past decade. Dynasties have been created, championship droughts have ended, and a ridiculous amount of leads have been infamously choked away. At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. Before we get to our list of the biggest 10 choke jobs of the past 10 years, let's dive into a couple of quick dishonorable mentions. The St. Louis Cardinals 2012 NLCS and the Las Vegas Golden Knights Game 7 of the 2019 Western Conference quarterfinals. Now to the top 10. Number 10, Jordan Spieth 2016 Masters. Jordan was 21 years of age when he won the 2015 Masters. He looked poised to be the next big thing after winning the U.S. Open 2 months later. Spieth had already crafted a remarkable resume by the age of 22, and his legendary status was apparently destined to continue at the 2016 Masters. Spieth was 5 shots up on the 9 through Sunday, and as the defending Masters champion, he was supposedly immune to this pressure, or so we thought. Spieth put 2 balls in the water on the par 3 12th hole, the hole that has crushed so many Masters dreams. He made a quadruple bogey on the hole, and that was after making bogeys on holes 10 and 11. That paved the way for Danny Willett to cruise to the 2016 Masters title. He finished 5 under while Spieth tied Lee Westwood for second at 2 under. It was an especially shocking collapse since Spieth already had 2 majors under his belt. Number 9, Toronto Maple Leafs Game 7 of the 2013 Eastern Conference quarterfinals. The Toronto Maple Leafs finally ended a 9-year playoff drought in 2013, qualifying as the number 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. They drew a tough first-round matchup against the star-studded Boston Bruins, who were just 2 years removed from a Stanley Cup championship. The younger, smaller, and less talented Leafs fell into a 3-1 series hole, but they pulled off a pair of close victories in Games 5 and 6 to force a winner-take-all Game 7 in Beantown. After giving up the first goal in the opening minutes, the Maple Leafs rallied for 4 unanswered goals. Nazem Kadri seemingly put the game away when he scored to make it 4-1 with 14.5 minutes to go in the third period. But Nathan Horton scored for Boston with 10 minutes 42 seconds to go, cutting the deficit to 2. The Leafs held off the Bruins' rally for the next 9 minutes until Milan Lucic scored to make it 4-3 with 1 minute and 22 seconds left. Then, with 51 ticks remaining, Patrice Bergeron scored on a wrist shot from the point to force overtime. This shunned the Maple Leafs, who proceeded to commit several mistakes in their own end during overtime. And Bergeron capitalized on one of them, firing home a loose puck to win the game for the Bees. Number 8, Green Bay Packers 2014 NFC Championship Game. The Packers were looking to reach their second Super Bowl with franchise quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who ran away with the 2014 NFL MVP award. But one more major roadblock awaited. The Packers had to get past the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, led by the Legion of Boom at CenturyLink Field. Though Rodgers and the Packers offense struggled to find a rhythm, the defense came to play. They sacked Russell Wilson 5 times and picked him off 4 times. Green Bay held a 19-7 lead with 3.5 minutes to go, but head coach Mike McCarthy curiously opted for conservative run plays rather than put the game in Rodgers' hands. The collapse was about to begin. Wilson scored a rushing TD just before the 2-minute warning. The Seahawks then recovered the ensuing onside kick after Brandon Bostic of the Packers failed to corral the football. Marshawn Lynch scored on a 24-yard rush to put the Seahawks ahead, but Mason Crosby of the Packers booted a clutch 48-yard field goal to force overtime. Seattle won the coin toss, however, and Wilson hit Jermaine Kearse in the end zone for a game-winning 35-yard touchdown. Comeback completed, and the Seahawks went on to win Super Bowl 49, thanks to an absolute choke job for the ages from the Packers. Number 7, Los Angeles Clippers 2020 Western Conference Semifinals. The Clippers' constant playoff shortcomings in the Blake Griffin-Chris Paul era were very well documented. But things were supposed to change once and for all in 2019-20 when the Clippers landed 2-time NBA champion and NBA Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard and another future Hall of Famer in Paul George. After getting past the Dallas Mavericks in round 1 of the 2020 playoffs, the Clippers met the Denver Nuggets in the conference semifinals. LA took a commanding 3-1 series lead, seemingly destined for a dream Western Conference Finals clash against LeBron James and Anthony Davis-led Los Angeles Lakers. But the wheels fell off quickly for Leonard and company. The Nuggets pulled off close wins in Games 5 and 6 to force a Game 7, while the Clippers' constant playoff humiliation was summed up by their Game 7 effort. They mustered only 33 second-half points as Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic led the Nuggets to a 104-89 victory. The meltdown prompted Clippers owner Steve Ballmer to fire head coach Doc Rivers, the man responsible for turning this franchise around in the first place. Number 6, San Jose Sharks 2014 Western Conference quarterfinals. The Sharks may have had that incredible comeback against the Golden Knights in 2019. The Sharks had one of the best regular seasons in franchise history, finishing with 111 points for the number 2 seed in the Pacific Division. They met their division rivals, the Los Angeles Kings, in the opening round of the playoffs, and it looked to be a cakewalk for Joe Thornton and company. The Sharks scored 17 goals in the first 3 games to take a commanding 3-0 series lead. The Kings didn't go away quietly, however, winning Game 4 by a final score of 6-3. They followed it up with a 3-0 shutout victory in Game 5, causing Sharks fans to start sweating a bit. The meltdown continued for the Sharks in Game 6 as LA skated to an easy 4-1 home win. Now it was win or go home at Game 7 at the Shark Tank. The Sharks scored the opening goal in Game 7 in the second period, but LA rallied for 2 second-period goals to lead 2-1 after 40. They added an insurance marker early in the third and scored 2 empty netters en route to a 5-1 win. The Sharks became just the 4th team in NHL history to blow a 3-0 series deficit. As for the Kings, they maintained their momentum the rest of the way, defeating the New York Rangers in the Stanley Cup Final to win their second championship in 3 years. Number 5, Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl 49. We can keep this one short and sweet. The Seahawks choked in 2 different ways against the New England Patriots Super Bowl 49. Choke job number 1 was when the Seahawks, with the best defense in the NFL, allowed 14 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, blowing a 21-14 lead. No matter how good Tom Brady is, the Seahawks defense always closed those games out. It was a different story on this night, however. And choke job number 2 happened when Russell Wilson got the ball back with a chance to win. He pieced together a remarkable drive, getting them to within a few yards of the game-winning score. On 2nd and goal from the 1, all Seattle had to do was hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. Just trust him to score from a half a yard out, for crying out loud. Nope. Pete Carroll called for a passing play, and Wilson's throw to Ricardo Lockett was picked off by Malcolm Butler at the goal line. Game over. Super Bowl dream over. Worst play call in history, no doubt about it. Number 4, Boston Bruins 2010 Eastern Conference Semifinals. The Bruins held a 3-0 series lead over the 7th-seeded Philadelphia Flyers in the second round of the 2010 Stanley Cup playoffs. What could go wrong? The answer? A lot. Philly won an overtime thriller in Game 4 to fight off elimination. The Bruins napped through Game 5 as the Flyers skated to an easy 4-0 victory, and the Bruins' unraveling continued with a tight 2-1 road loss to the Flyers in Game 6. Well, Game 7 was essentially a double choke job, if you will. Boston had the game on cruise control after taking a 3-0 lead late in the first period, but the Flyers got on the board with 2 minutes 48 seconds remaining in the opening frame. Scott Hartnell and Danny Briere scored in the second period to even the game. Then after the midway point of the third, the Bruins took a costly too many men on the ice penalty. Simon Gagnier scored the go-ahead goal with 7 minutes 8 seconds remaining to put Philly ahead. The Flyers' defense held its ground and they won the game 4-3, advancing to the conference finals. As for the Bruins, it wasn't all that bad after all. They did end up winning the Stanley Cup the following season. Maybe they can attribute that success to the painful lesson they learned 1 year earlier. Number 3, Cleveland Indians 2016 World Series. The Indians and the Chicago Cubs faced off in the battle of the teams of the 2 longest World Series championship droughts. The Cubs hadn't won at all since 1908. Cleveland hadn't won the World Series since 1948. Something had to give. The Indians held a 3-1 series lead through 4 games, needing just one more victory to break the drought once and for all. But the Cubbies escaped with a 3-2 home win in Game 5, and they blew out Cleveland 9-3 in Game 6 to force Game 7. Trailing 6-3 in the bottom of the 8th, the Indians scored 3 runs to even the score. Chicago put up 2 runs in the top of the 10th inning, which was more than enough as they completed the comeback with an 8-7 victory in Game 7. Their 108-year World Series drought was finally over while Cleveland's continued. Number 2, 2008 Warriors 2016 NBA Finals. They were the defending NBA champions. They had the 2016 League MVP in Stephen Curry. And they set the record for most wins in the regular season with 73. Yeah, the Dubs were about to unseat the 95-96 Chicago Bulls, the greatest team of all time. Golden State held a 3-1 series lead against LeBron James and the seemingly helpless Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. But the Cavs rallied to win the next 2 games and forced a decisive Game 7. You know how the rest played out. Golden State star players entered full-on meltdown mode. This dream team didn't score any points in the final 4.5 minutes. Kyrie Irving's last-minute three-pointer and a LeBron James free throw were all the Cavs needed in those final moments to win the franchise's first-ever championship. That was half the story. The other half was that the Warriors blew a 3-1 series lead. But hey, at least they got Kevin Durant, and easily won the next two championships over James Cavaliers, the #1 Atlanta Falcons, Super Bowl 51. Not only is this easily the biggest choke job of the decade, it's arguably the biggest in the history of professional sports, period. I mean, a 25-point deficit should always be safe, especially midway through the third quarter. Any Super Bowl team should have no problem holding on to that, but not the Falcons, who completely crumbled just when it seemed like they were about to put a halt to the Brady-Belichick dynasty in New England. Lots of fault to go around. Matt Ryan's strip sack, Kyle Shanahan's horrendous play calling, Robert Alford's dropped interception, or simply all the defensive breakdowns, you name it. This was a choke job like no other, and the Falcons have never recovered from it. The main story should have been that Tom Brady won his 5th ring, which placed him above every other quarterback in that regard. But most people outside of New England could only think of one thing. The Falcons blew a 28-3 lead. What other choke jobs of the past decade should we have included on our list? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, now's a great time to do that by hitting that subscribe button down there. If you like the video, and then like the video by hitting the like button on the video that you're liking at the moment. Hit the like button. We like that. And last but not least, tune in to TPS every single day for more cool videos. We'll see you next time.